Hey everybody, it's me, Daniel, and you are here with another week of 514 Kids Online, and we are learning about commitment this month. This is the second week learning about commitment, and I am gonna be working all month long on commitment. That's making a plan and putting it into practice, because I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm really good at making plans, and I'm really bad at actually carrying out those plans, actually following through. I don't do so well at. I prefer to hand it off to somebody else and I go do something else that interests me more. But guys, I'm gonna work on commitment and I hope you guys are too. And in fact, Jesus is a great way to practice our commitment, following Jesus, loving Jesus. Last week, I talked about how we should practice what matters most. Practice what matters most, and that is loving God and loving other people. And in fact, Jesus gave us a story and a way that we can practice what matters most. In Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27, this is what he says. So then, everyone who hears my words and puts them into practice is a wise man. He builds his house upon a rock. Okay, so I've got a rock here, right? What do we know about rocks? They're strong, they're sturdy, right? So think about it. If you take what Jesus says and then actually do it and apply it to your life, you're building a house on a solid foundation. You're building a house on a rock, okay? Let's see what he says about people who hear Jesus' words but don't put them into practice. It says, but everyone who hears my words and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man. He builds houses on sand. Okay, so what do we know to be true about sand? I don't have any because I haven't been to the beach in a while and it's super messy. I don't want to get it all over my clothes in here. But what do we know about sand? Sand is flimsy, right? It's not gonna be as strong as a rock. If it gets wet, it kind of mushes down, right? So if we are not taking the words that Jesus says, the things that we read in the Bible, that we hear Jesus talk about, the things he tells us to do, and we're not putting them into practice, not only are we foolish, but our actions and our life is not going to last very long because we're building a house on a sand, okay? So let's see what it says about when the rain comes down or when bad things happen in our life to the house on the rock. It says, the rain comes down, the water rises, the winds blow and beat against that house, but it does not fall if it is built on a rock. Guys, when we follow what Jesus says in the Bible and how he tells us we should live, our houses are strong, right? That doesn't mean that everything's gonna go okay all the time. That means it's gonna be hard. There's gonna be things that you have to deal with that aren't fun things. But when you build your life on Jesus, you're gonna have a solid foundation that no matter what happens, your house will be able to stand because it's built on Jesus. But what happens if you decide to hear Jesus' words and not put them into practice? It says, the rain comes down, the water rises, the wind blows, and it beats against that house, and it falls with a loud crash. Guys, when we hear the words of Jesus and we don't apply them to our lives, we aren't committed to making them a part of our everyday. That house that we built on sand is just gonna wash away and we'll have nothing. Guys, that's why it's so important to do what it says in Matthew 7, chapter 24. So then everyone who hears my words and puts them into practice is a wise man. He builds his house upon a rock. Jesus' words in the Bible are a foundation for a better life, and that's something that we need to commit to. That's why our bottom line today is practice hearing from God. Get to know what Jesus says in the Bible. Get to know what how God wants us to live by going to church, by talking with your family about the Bible, about Jesus, talking with your small group leaders, even watching this YouTube channel can help you learn about God. And so guys, I want you to practice hearing from God, and I want you to commit to doing what Jesus says in the Bible. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna be doing that too. Until then, I'll see you next time.